Nvidia making 1,000% profit.
Max can play video games now.
And Intel's next GPU is gonna be big. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're gonna be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Friday, August 18th, 2023.
You got it this time again.
Took me a second to remember where we were. There will be no coverage of the LTT controversy on this episode because there was no new developments by the time we're recording this. So there's new developments in what's going on over at Nvidia, especially with how much money they're making. So,
oh boy, yeah, this is wild.
Whoo, Raymond James coming out with an actual financial estimate of how much it costs Nvidia to make their H100 GPUs. Raymond James is a financial consulting company, and they estimate it only costs them about $3,300 to make the H100. Now, it's not quite clear how that breakdown works. Is that the cost of the wafer? Is that the cost of, everything that goes into the board? There's a lot of details that aren't 100% clear, but just even based on that estimation means that at the $25,000 to $30,000 on average that Nvidia is charging for this, that is over 1,000% profit. But there's some details that are missing there. Number one, they're sold out until 2024. These things are an insanely high demand.
Gone.
They're gone. Also, like Raymond James in this reporting that some AI startups just can't get the GPUs they need to actually exist as companies. That could be problematic for them as companies. Whether or not that's problematic for society as a whole remains to be seen. But these GPUs, because you can't get them, are allegedly being flipped for 70 grand. If not up to 100 in some instances.
So this is the whole GPU scalping thing, but just on a whole new level.
We as gamers have no idea how bad it could potentially get, where you're spending 100 grand on something that cost Nvidia 3.
Cool.
Yeah, it's GPU shortage just in a different way. Nvidia making that cash money. We talked in a previous episode of Hot News this week that Nvidia's slated to make $25 billion from the H100 alone.
Yep.
Just one graphics processing unit. It's only gonna get more from here, unless AI turns out to be a fad and everybody shouldn't have invested all of their business into it.
Then what's the next one?
Gamers are the next fad.
Oh, yeah.
One can only hope that you check out today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by AliExpress. AliExpress is your one-stop shop for pretty much anything you can imagine, and their upcoming 828 sale is no exception. From August 21st to August 28th, they'll have amazing sales on electronics, fashion, home goods, back-to-school supplies, and more. Just look at this Anbernic RG35XX. That's usually $93.32 going for only $69.99. That's 25% off for a 3.5-inch HD portable retro handheld game console that comes packed with thousands of video games. This thing can play all of your favorite retro games with dual Linux operating systems, both the official system and Garlic OS, dual micro SD card, expandable up to 512 gigabytes, and a 2600 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery that lasts around 6 hours. It can also vibrate, output with an actual HDMI port, and supports USB-C gamepads. Reece has actually been really getting into this mini handheld space, and this was a high contender on the ones he wanted to buy. Isn't that right, Reece?
Oh yeah.
Plus, you can use code ALLONAE to get $20 off for orders over $100, which you can use on all items from August 18th to September 24th. And AliExpress's shipping times are actually pretty impressive. Out of all of the items that I've personally ordered from AliExpress, they typically arrive much quicker than I've ever expected them to. So you can check out AliExpress's 828 promo by clicking the link in the video description to get this cost-effective deal. It's a better choice and a better price, but quantity is limited, so act fast. Big thanks again to AliExpress for sponsoring today's video. Oh, Reece, you remember how we praised Assassin's Creed Mirage for releasing a week early because they didn't want to compete with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Well, Alan Wake 2 is going the opposite route. They're releasing 10 days later because in their report, at least they're honest about this, they say that October's just too busy. We're giving more space to everybody for going from October 17th to the 27th, which puts them after the Spider-Man launch and about, towards the end of the month after Assassin's Creed Mirage launched. It's going to be a busy month in October for video games.
That's no one's gonna be able to keep up, so you're gonna have to pick games. And
what are you, some loser who has obligations outside of video games, Reece?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did that offend you that I called you a loser?
No.
Okay. Just a quick overview of the games that are launching. October 5th, Mirage. Detective Pikachu Returns is coming out on the 6th. Forza Motorsport is coming out on the 10th, Lords of the Fallen the 13th, Endless Dungeon on the 17th, Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Bros. Wonder are coming out October 20th, Cities Skylines 2 is on October 24th, and then Monaco's Night Market is coming out on the 26th, with Alan Wake coming out on the 27th. That is a jam-packed month.
Stacked.
What did all of these game developers do that they decided they're releasing on October of 2023?
What's with October babies?
It's Valentine's Day, dude. They're Valentine's babies.
These are Valentine's babies.
But they're also probably like born of COVID delays too. They're Valentine's
yeah.
COVID babies.
There's processes.
And there's processes for playing games on Mac now. Reece, you excited about this?
Maybe, sure.
Well, you're on Windows handhelds to some extent.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a hybrid. Yeah, I don't like that. That's weird.
You're a chimera.
Yeah.
So, Crossover 23 officially releasing and making it so that their DX12 support is now part of their mainline release. This was part of a beta program, especially with Apple updating their dev toolkit to allow for DX12 games to work on Apple Silicon. This is a very big deal when it comes to broad game adoption in the future. The only little caveat we got right here, okay, is guess how many games are supported right now?
3.
Oh, you were so close too. It is Diablo 2 Resurrected and Diablo 4.
Great.
So games that people have already moved on from, but they are still aggressively pursuing support for even more DirectX titles. That's what Codeweaver says, the makers of Crossover. So good news.
Mac handheld win.
There was that report years ago about a gaming Mac. Do you remember the G1 or whatever people were calling it? That hasn't really surfaced, but we'll keep you updated if there's any more developments on playing games on Mac. And in case you want to play 4K Steam Remote Play, that's now here. You can stream your games in 4K over your local network. It's in a beta update with Steam.
I like it.
It's good. It's just here. And you know what else is good?
Deals.
Oh, you know!
I'm cutting to the punch this time.
Can you cut me?
No.
No. Can you cut me off in traffic?
Yeah, easy peasy. And hey, deals! First up, we have the AMD Ryzen 5 5500 desktop processor going for only $86.99 with the included promo code, making that $72.01 off. And next up, we have one of my absolute favorite motherboards. It's the Gigabyte Z690 Aero G.
Why didn't you say Zed?
Why would I?
You're South African.
Why would I?
I don't know.
Which you can currently pick up for only $199.99, making it $110 off.
The good news about that is it will support the Raptor Lake refresh that's happening in October, so you get 3 generations of CPUs out of it. It's a gorgeous design. I love that Aero design. Solid stuff.
And then this last deal is for those of you who can actually make it in person to a Micro Center because it's in-store only. But you can pick up the Asus ROG Strix AMD Radeon RX 6600 XT for only $189.99, making it $130 off.
Those AMD GPUs being such a good deal lately.
And with that, deals are done. And I'm gonna hand you off back to this guy for the rest of your hot ones.
Literally hand me off. You know what else is a good deal, Reece?
What?
Getting 10 things for free when you only paid for 1. Netflix is doing this. When it comes to shutting down their DVD business, they decided that if you click a little email link by August 29th, they will send you 10 extra discs by September 29th. The reason they're doing it is saying after 25 years of movies in the mail, we're approaching the end of our final season. We really appreciate that you're sharing movie nights with us until the last day. Let's have some fun for our finale. So these 10 discs will be chosen from the queue that the person has. It's going to be randomly chosen. You still have to return everything by October 27th of this year.
What's the point?
You don't get to keep them. Well, you get to watch 11 movies over the next 2 months, 3 months, or the month that you have them. I don't know. It's a nice little gesture for something.
It's a send-off, I guess.
They're doing it. But speaking of outdated things that are shutting down, which actually I'm not necessarily sure the Netflix DVD model is outdated. I still think that might be a decent idea for physical media. Anyways, regardless, Xbox 360, their store's closing down in a year, July 2024. It's gonna be over.
That's tragic.
It's RIP Xbox 360, the marketplace shutting down July 29, 2024. Any original Xbox or Xbox 360 games and DLC that are backwards compatible on the new ones will still be able to buy on the newer console storefronts, just not on the regular one. The Microsoft movies and TV apps will stop working. This console is 18 years old.
Don't say that.
It is turning an adult this year. It is, the 360 is aged, right? So how long should they support it? I feel like almost 2 decades is a good run.
I'm okay with 2 decades.
You never had the 360, did you?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I had the Xbox 360 Elite. It was really cool. It had the hard drive. I bought it with Assassin's Creed 2. That's a while ago.
Sound off with your favorite Xbox 360 memory down below in the comments, even if that includes a red ring of death.
The 360 was the first Xbox to launch in SA.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys didn't have the original one?
No.
And you didn't have like a knockoff, like a Famicom version?
No, I mean, I had a friend whose dad worked in America and he brought him an Xbox and I got to play that way, but it wasn't a normal thing.
Okay, well, what is also not normal is Lenovo Legion's Go handheld, because this is supposed to be an AMD Phoenix-based APU, so kind of like we're seeing with the RG Ally and several others, but it's supposed to have little Joy-Con looking doodles. So according to Windows Report doing a test render, they're potentially going to have little slidey sticks that come out and play. I feel like the reason that worked for the Switch was because you connected it to a TV.
Yeah.
I don't see many people hooking this up to a TV, maybe to, larger monitors. If there's a GPU dock involved.
Do those just clip in like that?
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure if I like that.
This is a render, so it's not quite clear. It's gonna have an SD card slot and USB-C ports, but not HDMI. And whether or not it's gonna support Thunderbolt 4 to get a dock, also not clear. I think for this to fully work, they have to have a dock ecosystem. Yeah. That's the only reason you really remove them. You could like kickstand it, but
I'm gonna wait to see more details on this before I actually say I hate it, because right now I hate it.
Yeah, it does seem like they're trying something unique and novel, which
in the handheld space is nice.
I admire. Whether or not it's gonna sell well is a different story. And you know what I didn't admire earlier this week was talking about Nvidia's GPU gaming bundles, because they were a bundle of garbage. I'll say that. They included Overwatch 2 Legion, whereas AMD is giving you Starfield. But in case you want to play some video games with Intel, their Intel Gamer Days announcement publication, promotion, it's the word I was searching for, it has now gone announced, with them giving you 2 games. So this is supposed to take place from August 21st up until October 15th, depending on the region that you're in. You can see the regions listed on the screen right here. USA is gonna be the 24th through September 4th.
I'm not in there.
Do not have South Africa, I'm sorry.
Intel, why?
That is a little sad. It's always like when they have the game announcements, like for release time, and they just ignore Africa entirely. But the games include Assassin's Creed Mirage PC Standard Edition, as well as Nightingale. I don't know anything about Nightingale, but if you want a AAA game, you can get at least 2 games included, with the hardware that's being supported being quite robust. So it's not just GPUs, although Intel's Arc GPUs are in here, including the unreleased A580 is supported for this. So
interesting.
I don't know what's going on there, but additionally, a ton of processors from the Core i5 12th gens all the way to the Core i9 13th gens. There are a bunch of different options for you to buy CPUs or GPUs in order to participate in Intel Gamer Days, which this is not a sponsored segment from them, but we do have an upcoming video with collaboration with Intel and Main Gear. They've already kind of promoted this on their own platforms right now, but there is a giveaway associated with it, with a 13900K PC, with the Main Gear MG1 Legendary PC being up for giveaway. We have a link in the video description for you to check that out in case you want to participate with Main Gear. We'll have our own separate stuff coming out to promote when we're ready for those videos, but you can win an MG1 gaming PC using our links down below. But we're all winning when it comes to the GPU competition out there, because we're getting some details about Battlemage. I love Intel's Arc Alchemist. As I've said time and time again, it is my opinion that Intel is the only company that has a vested interest in actually making a good GPU market. AMD doesn't need to care because they have their consoles. Nvidia doesn't need to care because they got the AI. Intel's not selling many GPUs outside of gaming. So this is where their market seems to lie, and Battlemage is looking mighty fine. So a GPU test tool revealing that Battlemage's package is going to be 2.5% larger, their BGA setup there. And the reason that is even more significant than it sounds, 2.5%, not a huge improvement, is that they're scaling down from TSMC's 6 nanometer to TSMC's 4 nanometer, which means that they will actually have a die shrink while also increasing the die size, meaning that there's going to be a lot more transistors packed into there, and they're going to be using the same process that is currently on the RTX 40 series. So the current Arc Alchemist GPU is at 406 millimeters squared and has 22 billion transistors. Not clear how big Battlemage is going to get, but what we do know is if the A770 is competing with the 3060, sometimes kind of pushing that 3060 Ti, 3070 region, depending on the game and the driver support, Battlemage, especially if they price it really well, giving us a $500 GPU that can go toe-to-toe with a 4080 might not be out of the question. That is pure speculation by Bretty Boy here, but based on Intel's one-generation track record, I feel like they know that they have to compete severely on price to performance, and that's where they've gone. And I'm very excited for Battlemage. Let me know what you think.
Down for this.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I just want more of them in South Africa.
That's fair. Actually, there's been a large promotion recently. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of the remaining tech tubers in South Africa have done A750 videos as of late. And it seems like they hooked up with Wootware to get the samples. It's been intriguing watching that happen. Reece, when do we tell them about you leaving? Because you've been here for a while. And we keep getting comments of like, hey, can you keep Reece? Unfortunately, the answer is no, but I guess you'll be back at least on Monday, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So it's a mystery. One day he will just be gone, and that is gonna be brutal for all of us.
I'm not gonna tell you when.
See you on Monday for more of the hottest tech news, my friends.